Gospel of the Day, January 15, 2014. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak because they knew him. Rising very early, before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place, where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and on finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go on to the nearby villages, that I may preach there also. For this purpose have I come." So he went into their synagogues, preaching and driving out demons throughout the whole of Galilee. Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. It seems to me like there are at least three segments of this beautiful gospel. Mark is very succinct. In the first part we see how once Jesus has started his ministry, after the detention of John the Baptist, he went to Capernaum, and yesterday we were reading about the episode, the scene when he had driven out a demon from a sick person there in the synagogue in Capernaum. Now it says that after that time, he went to the house of Simon and Andrew along with James and John, his four first disciples. And Simon's mother-in-law, St. Peter's mother-in-law, because our first pope was married, and many others afterwards, she was sick with a fever. And they immediately told him that she was sick. He again immediately approached, grasped her hand, and pulled her up. And by that simple gesture, he restored her health. It is very interesting, that gesture about picking up someone who is laying sick. She also represents you and me, because we as sinners also need to be pulled up to our feet by the force of God, by the grace of Jesus Christ, by His Spirit. What comes afterwards is natural. She immediately starts serving them, especially him. Because when we experience the hand of God in our lives, it is obvious that we will want to be around him. There comes an immediate deep gratitude if we are humble and recognize that we are being helped. Now, afterwards in the evening, everybody brought their sick people, their ill people, and those that were possessed. And he cured many. Basically, he cured them all. He did not make any exemptions. For in God there are no exceptions. He loves us all. He is for all of us. And we have to understand that. We have to be very happy and glad that he chose us. But we can never be prideful, thinking that he did not choose any of our neighbors, even if they are Muslims or Athens or whatever. It doesn't matter. They are children of God. They came to be because God willed them in his infinite love. He drove away many demons, not allowing them to speak because they would show who he was. They would tell. And Jesus does not need the demons to talk about him. We don't either, because they will never say the truth. Demons always speak half truth and half lies. And that's why it's so wicked. They make us fall. And so Jesus teaches us not to listen ever to the demons. Finally, on the third segment, we see how Jesus rose early into the dawn, before the dawn, so that he go out into a deserted place to pray. His eye, his personal eye in Jesus, is the eye of the second person of the Holy Trinity, of the Godhead, that eye of the eternal Logos. But his conscience is a human conscience, and he needed to enter into communication with his Father all the time. And that's exactly what happens when you are in prayer. And that is also the way for you and me to talk to God through our prayers. So it is so important that we also pray early in the morning and late in the evening. We also see how Simon and the others came to find him. And he says, everyone is looking for you. Because once we have experienced the goodness of Jesus, there is a deep desire. We find our true love in Jesus. So we want to be with him. Yet the Lord does not reject them, but he clarifies that he came not only for those that were close to him, being the disciples, not only for those that lived in the same city, but for everyone. And that's why he says, let us go to the nearby villages, that I may preach there, for I have come for that. And he went everywhere, throughout the whole of Galilee, the Galilee of the pagans. He did not reject the pagans and sinners. He rather wants to be with all of us, we that are sinners, but that are seeking for the face of God. Let us rejoice, dear brothers, that we are so loved by God our Father, that he sent his only Son to save us, to cure us, to put us upright again by taking us by the hand, to drive away the demons, whatever demons we might be afflicted with, so that once we are restored, we might come to serve him, and in serving him, we might find true love, true happiness, and true life. God bless you all, brothers.